Assalamu alaikum, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I'm Dr. Toha Said, Assistant Lecturer of Anesthesia and ICU, Cairo University. Today is our last session in Anesthesia Machine, and it will be just a discussion for the oral and written exams and what to study in this part of physics. So here are our questions. Uh, We will start here. What are the 5 tasks or pathway of oxygen in anesthesia gas machine? As I told you before that we have 5 pathway or 5 tasks, which are ventilator driving gas, flush valve, oxygen pressure failure alarm, fail-safe system, and our last system. What is the function of fail-safe valve? Divides the anesthesia gas machine into high pressure circuit and low pressure circuit. Control flow of medical gases. What is the physical principle of fail-safe valve? When the oxygen pressure drop below 25 psi, it will activate and the valve and that allow nitrous oxide to enter the machine. Okay. When we push oxygen valve, it give oxygen pressure of 50 psi and the flow average 50, 35 to 70 liter. Define critical temperature. This is temperature above which gas cannot be liquefied, whatever the pressure is applied. It's mentioned in our second lecture or second session. Was the capacity, pressure, color, and form of E and H cylinder of three of the following: nitrous or nitrogen, oxygen, air, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, heliox, and NOx. We should refer to the table in our cylinders and gas delivery session. What's the pressure inside of the pipeline pressure gauge? 45 to 50 psi. What's the difference between BIS, bin index safety system, and this diameter index safety system? BIS is for the cylinder to prevent misconnection of a cylinder to wrong yoke, and this prevent misconnection of hoses to the machine. Okay, this for machine and BIS for the cylinder. Okay, what's the physical principle of gas reducing valve? It converts the high variable pressure to a constant pressure, approximately 45 psi, downstream of the regulator to prevent damage to the machine. And its physical principle is high pressure multiply small area equal low pressure multiply large area. What is the material which gas cylinders made of? Molybdenum steel. What are the steps of pipeline system? Bulk stores, distribution pipeline, terminal outlet, flexible hoses, connection between hoses and anesthesia machine. This is very important oral exam. What's the vacuum insulated evaporator? Storage tank for liquid oxygen with a vacuum insulated wall designed to keep the contents below or negative 160 centigrade below critical temperature and above boiling point. What are the two pressures of medical air used in the hospital? 4 bar for anesthesia machine and 7 bar for bar surgical equipment. Bar surgical equipment are the devices used to provide pressure to make this surgical equipment to operate, like the orthopedics machines. Orthopedic drill is using this 7 bar pressure, but this is for medical air. Okay, medical air, not oxygen. And the medical air for anesthesia machine and ventilators is only 4 bar. Okay, what are the types of flow along the flow meter? At the bottom it's tubular, low rate, low flow rate, laminar. At the top stimulates an orifice, high flow rate, which is turbulent and density dependent. If it's laminar and tubular, it's viscosity dependent. If it's at orifice, it becomes turbulent and it's density dependent. This is MCQ questions, okay? What are the factors which make the float rotating? Gas flow support, presence of slits, vertical position of the tube, absence of electrostatic charges, inner walled or paint with tin or gold. Enumerate three safety features of flow control valve, touch, color, and coded name, protected with a shield, single for two tubes. Okay, and each one is mentioned in the respecting session. You can be back. It's just a collection for questions regarding anesthesia machine part in the physics. Okay, enumerate three safety features for volumeter subunit, gas specific, color coded, inseparable unit, proportion system, and oxygen is downgrade. Oxygen is the last one. Okay, what are the data which can be obtained from vapor pressure curve? Vapor pressure of vapor at any given temperature, saturation volume concentration at any given temperature, boiling point of the gas. This is in vaporizer session. What is the tipping and how we deal with it? The liquid agent entering the bypass chamber, and this will lead to high output concentration of the agent, flushing for 20 minutes at high flow, 10 liter per minute, with a high set concentration of vaporizer. Okay, define vapor pressure of liquid. When a volatile liquid is in a closed container, molecules escape from the liquid phase to vapor phase. These molecules bombard the wall of the container and create a pressure. When the evaporation occurs until the number of molecules in the vapor phase is constant, it's called saturated vapor pressure. Boiling point of the liquid, temperature at which vapor pressure equal atmospheric pressure. Okay, and it's able to go. There is no equilibrium at the surface of this liquid. Latent heat of vaporization, amount of the heat required to change 1 gram of liquid to vapor without temperature changing. For example, if the water it changed from the liquid to the vapor, so the latent heat of vaporizer at 100 degree is the amount of the heat required to change 1 gram at 100 temperature centigrade. Okay, what's TEC? And to enumerate three methods for compensation. TEC is temperature when the temperature of the liquid decrease during vaporization, absence of outside energy. This can greatly decrease vaporization. So many methods are done for TEC, temperature compensation, in vaporizers such as automatic by metallic expansion element, metallic bellow, electronic Aladdin vaporizer, chemical melting of calcium chloride crystal, physical constructed with copper, thermal Tech6 for fluorine, and manual vapor vaporizers. And we are using the electronic one right now, but you should mention all other systems as I told you before. Okay, what are the methods for bumping effect compensation? Small vapor chamber, long spiral inlet tube, one-way valve in the outlet tube. Okay, classify vaporizers, blow over, draw over. This one classification, variable bypass, measured flow vaporizers like this fluorine, out of the circuit or inside the circuit. Variable bypass, flow over, temperature compensated agent specific, out of the circuit, flow independent, not affected by back pressure nor ambient pressure. This is the characteristics for ideal vaporizer. Classify breathing circuit, insufflation and open drop technique, Mabelson system, circle system, or open with complete ventilating like open drop, semi-open, semi-closed, and closed like with complete rebreathing like circuit with valves closed and very low fresh gas flow. The most suitable circuit for spontaneous breathing in adult, McGill system, Mabelson A. For controlled in adults, pain system. Mabelson D. Spontaneous in infants. Mabelson DF. Jackson Reed's modification for Aristate tube. Enumerate coaxial circuits. 3 circuits. Pin. Lac. King circuit. What are components of breathing circuit? Fresh gas inflow source. Y connector, ABL valve reservoir bag, canister containing CO2 absorbent, inspiratory and expiratory unidirectional valve, and corrugated tubes. What is the size of absorptive granules? 4 to 8 mesh. And problems related, mesh is the number of the opening per linear inch to sieve through which granules particles can pass. Problem: if they are too small, airway resistance high. If they are too large, decrease absorptive surface area. What are interactions of inhaled anesthetics and absorbent? Compound A, B, C, D, E, F, E, carbon monoxide with desflurane, enflurane, and isoflurane when they are interacting with soda lime and perlime. Dichloroacetylene, cerebral neurotoxin, and phosgene, pulmonary irritant, with trichloroethylene when they are interacting with soda lime. Okay, this is very important question. And beware that compound A is coming with sevoflurane and it's nephrotoxic in rats. No reports mentioned in human studies, but we are considering the nephrotoxicity in rats. What are the advantages of low flow anesthesia? Economic risk pollution, conserve heat and humidity. What are the risks of low flow anesthesia? Hypoxia, hypercarbia, over and under dosage of inhalational anesthetics, accumulation of trace gases, degradation of volatile anesthetics within the circuit. So what's the requirement for safe use of low flow anesthesia? Pulse oximeter, capnography, oxygen analyzer, and agent specific monitoring. A measure of circuit volume, presence of lac-free circuit system, and CO2 absorbent, accurate flow meter calibrated down to 0.2 liter per minute. What are the classification of machine ventilators? Power source, compressed, electricity, or both. Drive, pneumatic force, electric, driven piston, or turbine. Cycling machine, time cycle in control, or flow cycle in spontaneous. Bell's classification, ascending and descending, and we should know the difference between ascending and descending, and which one of them is dangerous and which one is should be used. This is another question. Okay, what are the disconnection monitors related to breathing systems? Vigilant anesthetist, the most important. Anesthetist is the most important. Monitoring for any operation theater conducting any type of anesthesia, general, regional, or even monitored anesthesia care. Okay, connection or apnea alarm, capnograph, sudden loss of waves, respiratory volume monitors, airway pressure monitors, ascending bellows. How modern ventilator compensate delivered tidal volume for fresh gas flow? By fresh gas decoupling, fresh gas compensation, and they are, and most effective of them is fresh gas compensation. What are the typical ventilator alarm? Apnea, disconnect alarm, sustained or elevated pressure alarm, and high pressure alarm, subambient pressure alarm, not in all devices, reverse flow alarm. B, low tidal volume managed ventilation, and high respiratory alarm. What are the components of scavenging system? 5, collecting system, transfer tube, fuel interface, and we have two types of interface, open and closed. Gas disposal tubing and gas disposal system. What are the types of interface? Open with active system, closed which is passive and having only pressure valve, or active and having pressure and negative valve. What's the most important safety feature to prevent delivery of hypoxic mixture of the patient? Oxygen analyzer is most important. Okay, what are the steps for negative pressure leak test? Machine and fresh gas flow off. Okay, suction pulp to the common gas outlet. Squeeze until full collapse for at least 10 seconds. No leak. If inflated, there is a leak. Open one vaporizer at a time. Repeat the last step for every vaporizer you are having. What are the steps for unidirectional valve test? For an inspiratory valve, fresh gas flow off. Remove Y piece. Close ABL valve. Close expiratory limb and inflates through respiratory limb. If gas back inflated, incompetent valve. For expiratory valve, fresh gas flow off. Remove Y connection. Close ABL valve. Close expiratory limb and inflate through expiratory limb. If back inflated, it's incompetent valve. Okay, and here is some MCQs. I need you to answer them. Which of the following prevents delivery of hypoxic gas mixture once the oxygen pressure falls below 25 psi? Okay. Gas flow meter, is it agent specific? Has a gas flow rate which this depends on viscosity at high turbulent flow? Have a gas flow rate which depends on density on laminar flow or cylindrical in shape? Okay, and you know the answer. I need you to send me answers on the comments or on the WhatsApp group. Which of the following flow meters is situated nearest to gas outlet? Okay, nitrous, oxygen, air, none of the above. Modern vaporizers are, okay, agent specific, temperature compensated, pressure compensated, A and B. Tech 6, this fluorine is electrically heated to 39%, 39 centigrade, pressurized to 3 atmosphere, is pressure compensated, all of the above. A standing or ascending bellow is preferred anesthesia machine as this connection is indicated by collapse, filling by gravity, disconnection, stoppage of flow meter gas. Variable bypass vaporizer should be located between common gas outlet upstream and the flow meter downstream, between flow meter upstream and the common outlet downstream, between gas pipeline and flow meter, inside the circle. Limited operating room concentration of nitrous oxide is, as I told you, we are using the US guidelines regarding this. Volatile inhalation gas is, if a pressure in a full nitrous oxide is 745 psi at 20 degrees, the pressure in the half cylinder will be about, which of the following system prevents a wrong cylinder from being attached to the machine? The highest content of soda lime is, end product reaction of soda lime CO2 canister are, If you notice that carbon dioxide absorption exhausted during surgical procedure, which of the following minimal fresh gas flow will make the CO2 absorbent unnecessarily? Compared to Mabelson A system, the circle system is bulky, risk of disconnection, has decreased resistance to patient breathing, better conserve humidity, malfunction of which of the following valve of the circuit may cause rebreathing of carbon dioxide and potentially result in hypercapnia, which of the following Mabelson system provides best efficiency? You should remember them. Degradation of sevoflurane by soda lime results in production of SC in CO2 absorbent canister. The greatest amount of carbon monoxide is produced by which of the following? And don't forget that in Dragger, this pillow is just not a true pillow, not driven by gas. This is just for anesthesia comfort, as I told you before. And now it's time to say thank you for attention during the whole sessions for anesthesia machines. We will try start as soon as possible sessions regarding monitoring. See you later. Bye.